My own professional identity is a concept I have considered as my career has progressed and at each academic milestone. Since my own childhood, I have wanted to work with and care for children. I envisaged a life working from home, possibly as a childminder, homeschooling my own children, and hopefully fostering children who needed a loving home. When I began to consider my study options, it seemed to be that qualifying as a teacher or nurse were the only acceptable and available avenues offered by my career guidance at school. Knowing I distinctly did not want to do either, I studied an interest in history and philosophy degree, whilst gaining work experience as a carer, mainly for elderly care and with adults with disabilities and learning difficulties. Postgraduate, I immediately began a level 3 vocational course in childcare and finally gained coveted work experience with children. Exciting options were now beginning to open up to me, and I undertook a postgraduate certificate in psychology at the Institute of Education London. The focus of developmental psychology and education sparked a lifelong curiosity and interest into knowing that understanding and how and why things happen for children is essential for us to best support their needs. I began to consider a career in social work or educational psychology. I quickly secured a leadership role in a preschool in Northern Ireland, and that served me well as I gained invaluable experience leading and managing within the voluntary sector, working with education, health and social care within the remit of charitable stipulations. During this time, I grasped every opportunity to continue my professional development and also experience the joy of having my own family. Becoming a mother has fundamentally changed who I was and how I was as a practitioner. Qualities I believed I possessed suddenly transitioned from abstract concepts based on theory and good practice to concrete, almost tangible traits that permeated my daily living. My experiences of pregnancy and childbirth led me to explore the biological norms of attachment parenting, breastfeeding, co-sleeping, gentle discipline, and my practice has continued to grow from this knowledge base to optimize children's development. Personal qualities such as empathy, care, and understanding increased exponentially upon becoming a parent. I truly understand the challenges within families' daily lives, and it made me less judgmental as a practitioner. I explored training in the areas of additional needs, trauma, domestic violence, and abuse, so that I may better help the families I worked with to signpost them to support services and adjust my own practices to best support their needs. My practice has been influenced in equal measure through giving credence and exploring the influences of nature and nurture on development. Now, I work independently supporting others to truly understand how children develop, what can impact their development, and what we can do to best support children. As I have continued to gain experience and continue my own education formally within this degree, and also informally through self-guided reading, conferences and training events, my professional identity has begun to crystallise. For a long time, I've had so many interconnected interests and passions within this sector that when asked what I did or what I wanted to do, I found it very difficult to articulate concisely. This had previously led me to question the professional status of what I was doing, that it is not as easily quantifiable as a teacher, and honestly, I have experienced imposter syndrome because of this, feeling less equal or that I didn't belong in the discourse that was happening in the realm of children's care, learning and development. I have regular moments of feeling I should just do the PGCE so I can officially describe what I do as teaching. But the reason I have not succumbed to this over the past 20 years of pondering is that I feel it would be disingenuous. I have no desire to stand in a classroom for the rest of my career. I am interested in further academic research, developing my own training programs, travel, the diversity of working with different organisations. I've always attempted to be reflective in my practice, possibly too critical at times, utilising Schoen's model of reflection and Kolb's model of experiential learning. As I've progressed in my career and taken on more responsibility, I have spent time looking at what I am doing, when I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it. And this has enabled me to accept feedback, evaluate my own practice, and implement changes. I have long known that I struggle to work with people who are not open to similar levels of reflection open to change, experimentation, and exploration. This is the main reason I choose to work independently. The diversity of working for and partnering with other organisations is invigorating to me at this time, and it affords me the flexibility I need to care for my still young family and continue my professional development. To not be pigeonholed into working within the preschool curriculum in Northern Ireland, but to work alongside speech and language therapists, occupational therapists, social workers, charities who work with children with autism and children who are deaf or visually impaired, private children's centres, national organisations such as Home Start and Sure Start, has widened my opportunities and now allowed me to think aspirationally about my work and the impact I can have in my role as an early years specialist. There are, of course, challenges that come with working independently. Being accountable can be difficult when you work alone. If I do not actively work on my business in terms of management, marketing, developing, there's no business to work in. Carving out time to network and create opportunities is difficult, and to seek opportunities to develop skills to support my business, such as web design and things like that. Not having the supportive infrastructure of an organisation and staff team can also be difficult. Investing in my professional development to ensure it is current is a burden financially, emotionally, and on time with my family, yet I will continue to prioritise it while my children are young and my work is based at home. I can study around my domestic duties. Moving forward, I am more confident that I can embrace the fact that what I am doing now is what I do, not necessarily holding space for something abstract in the future. I am by no means finished my journey in the early years, but can now acknowledge and embrace that the journey is very much part of my professional identity and my story as an early years specialist, and I am very excited about what is to come as I forge my own path within the early years sector.